to be ready to leave. But evacuation orders have been lifted for parts of Arcadia and Sierra Madre. The smoke advisory remains in effect, and all national forests in California will remain closed through at least Monday because of all the fire danger. We have team coverage, including weather on the front lines, but we begin with NBC4's McCullough Medina, who has details on those new evacuation warnings.
Boy, what a difference a day makes. For the first time in a long time, we're actually waking up this morning to blue skies here in Monrovia. Take a look at the hillside. You can actually make out the hillside. It is still hazy this morning, but we have seen much more blue skies than we've seen here over the course of the last several days. Less smoke, less visible flames, and a whole lot of hope this morning as firefighters continue to contain this fire. Let me show you some video really quickly of the fire overnight. Gives you a better indication of just how hot it has been burning. As you mentioned, the acreage now up to more than 50,000 acres, but still just 3% contained. Much of that effort has been on the southern flank of the fire. That's near the foothill communities like Monrovia, where we are this morning. In fact, we talked to one woman who lives at the bottom of the canyon here just a few minutes ago, and she tells us it has been a much different day waking up this morning.
It looks so much better, but we're still smelling, obviously, smoke this morning really badly, but it's nice not to see flames for once. So yeah, they're working hard. The fight was also fierce near Mount Wilson. Check out these photos from the area. The southwestern edge of the fire remains fairly active there, where crews continue to protect the observatory structure. We're told choppers and aircraft assets were able to drop retardant in and around the area to try to slow the growth of the fire. Crews will no doubt focus their efforts there today, as well as continuing their efforts here on the southern flank, hoping to stop the spread of the fire, keeping it at around 50,000 acres. In Monrovia, I'm McCullough Medina for Today in LA, NBC4 News.
All right, meantime, in San Bernardino County, the El Dorado fire has burned more than 18,000 acres. It is slowly moving toward containment lines near Highway 38 and Angeles Oaks, but firefighters on the ground used hoses overnight to attack the flames directly. Now, while the Big Bear area is not under any evacuation orders or warnings, people there are being urged to stay ready, and visitors are being asked to stay away. A record 3.3 million acres have burned already across California. 25 people were killed and thousands of buildings, including homes, were destroyed. Massive fires have also raced across the Pacific Northwest, destroying towns in Oregon and Washington. We have the latest on all the fires on our website, NBCLA.com. All right, taking a live look at downtown Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley, LAX, and Malibu. Smoke from those wildfires has been stretching across our region, but today, you may be breathing a bit easier when it comes to our air quality. Let's check in now with meteorologist Shauna Mendiola and your first alert forecast. Hey, Shauna.
Hey there, Michael. A little bit more improvement here today. It's going to be a slow recovery, but we are seeing some areas with blue skies outside, and as we head to the weekend, a little better. Now, big culprit for all our smoke is the BOBCAT fire. We'll take a look at current conditions right now. 8% humidity. It is dry there. Temperatures aren't hot yet, so that's good, and firefighters are dealing with just a 12-mile-per-hour wind gust. So the winds are light still, but with that, it's trapping some of the smoke in our area. Closer to the beaches, it's better. Take a look at air quality right now. We do have a lot of improvement. Yesterday, we had a lot of oranges and reds on the map, which indicate unhealthy for sensitive group quality and unhealthy air. And some spots have green right now, like Orange County and Ventura County, where the air quality is actually good. So you got a slight break from the smoke. We still have that haze overhead. So I am going to be monitoring that throughout the day, as we still have a smoke advisory for everybody. We may see this extended tomorrow, but the only change will be the locations where the smoke advisory is placed, because some areas will improve first. So that is good news. Looking at that FUTURECAST for you here, there's a look at where the heaviest smoke is going to be, and that's for this afternoon over the Antelope Valley, so we'll watch that for you. Taking a look at tomorrow, we get some spots where that smoke thins out a little bit more, so you may be able to see some spots of blue, but we still are dealing with some smoke. Now, as we head to the weekend, things are going to change a bit. Notice how at lunchtime right now we are warm, but we're headed for a cool down and better air quality. So stay with us. We've got another check of your forecast coming right up. Michael, back to you.
All right, Sean, appreciate it. Thank you. Well, still a lot of questions about the standoff in Lynwood earlier this week. One of those deputies has now been released from the hospital. NBC4's Tony Ginyard has those details.
Patrols by deputy outside St. Francis Medical Center continue, where inside, the 31-year-old female deputy shot in the jaw is recovering. The LA County Sheriff announcing her 24-year-old partner, who was shot in the same attack, was released from the hospital on Wednesday.
There's some long-term implications for their recovery, and a lot of therapy is going to be involved, and so they got a painful road ahead of them.
Comments from Sheriff Alex Villanueva in a wide-ranging interview with NBC4's Jonathan Gonzalez.
We have not ruled out anyone, and we're chasing all leads.
The interview covered a lot of ground, from the deputy who remains hospitalized here at St. Francis Medical Center to the man who was arrested in Linwood after a pursuit and a standoff. 36-year-old Deontay Murray was taken away by ambulance. A sheriff's canine helped in the arrest. His arrest tied to a carjacking and assault with a deadly weapon. But the amount of resources used to take him into custody and his bail, $2 million, is prompting questions about his possible connection to the deputy shooting investigation.
And when we line up on the right person with the evidence to support it, we followed all the investigative leads, then we'll announce that information.
Multiple law enforcement sources have told the NBC4 I-team Deontay Murray is tied to the investigation of the deputy shooting. The sheriff will only say,
if there's any possibility that he could be connected, of course we're gonna explore that.
In Linwood, Tony Ginyard, NBC4 News.
And our I-team just learned that prosecutors have filed carjacking and assault with a deadly weapon charges against 36-year-old Deontay Murray. Prosecutors allege that Murray used an AR-15 rifle to commit a carjacking. Now, the complaint also alleges Murray is a gang member. Now to the very latest on the coronavirus outbreak. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell last week to 860,000. Now, before the pandemic, the number of folks signing up for jobless claims had never exceeded 700,000 in a week. California has been removed from the New York tri-state area coronavirus quarantine list, and college basketball is on its way back. The NCAA voted yesterday for both men's and women's hoops to return after Thanksgiving. LA County could soon be seeing red, and that's a good thing, but only if the numbers stay low. NBC4's Annette Adela has the very latest note on the coronavirus pandemic.
Health officials say reopening is on the horizon for many more businesses here in LA County, as long as they don't see a surge in cases associated to the Labor Day gatherings. So far, it's too early to tell, but things are looking good. Numbers are trending in the right direction. Under the state's criteria, LA County remains at the widespread level for COVID-19, but according to the county health department, we could drop to Tier 2 by October, which could relax restrictions for indoor activities. Hospitalization and deaths are going down, yet despite the optimism, there were over 1,100 people that tested positive in the past 24 hours.
In layman's term, we're still very much on the edge of moving in one direction or the other, and at risk of the cases going back up if people lighten up on the use of these core public health measures.
Down in Orange County, local officials are putting pressure on Governor Newsom to set up guidelines for the reopening of theme parks. The president of Disneyland Resort released this statement saying in part, quote, "We have proven we can operate responsibly with strict health and safety protocols at our properties around the world and at Downtown Disney in Anaheim. Tens of thousands of people's livelihoods depend on our ability to operate, and we stand ready and willing to accelerate discussions with the governor." Disneyland shut down in mid-March and is one of Orange County's largest employers. Anaheim city officials say they too have felt the impact, seeing their local revenue plummet during the pandemic. They now fear massive layoffs and even the city going bankrupt.
We are the tourist town. We believe we actually live on the tourism, come in here to fill up all the rooms, to pay our wages, pay the revenues to everybody who works here.
And on the national stage, a back and forth playing out between the president and one of the nation's top health officials on the timeline for a COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Robert Redfield told Congress that a vaccine won't be widely available to the public until next summer or maybe fall.
If you're asking me when is it going to be generally available to the American public so we can begin to take advantage of vaccine to get back to our regular life, I think we're probably looking at late second quarter, third quarter, 2021.
But President Trump disagrees, and he says Dr. Redfield made a mistake when he said that.
It's just incorrect information. We're ready to go immediately as the vaccine is announced, and it could be announced in October, could be announced a little bit after October.
The president said that the United States will be able to distribute at least 100 million vaccine doses by the end of the year. Here's how his opponent Joe Biden replied to that.
Let me be clear. I trust vaccines, I trust scientists, but I don't trust Donald Trump. And at this moment, the American people can't either.
Biden went on to say that President Trump does not respect science and that if he is elected in November, he would put in place a national mask mandate. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Annette, thank you. Looking now at the cases around Southern California, downward trends could allow LA County to move into the state's next tier of economic reopening by the middle of next month. Riverside County officials are also optimistic about qualifying for the next level. Well, actress Lori Loughlin will be spending some time in Victorville, that is in prison. Court documents show that Loughlin will serve her 2-month sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution there for her role in the college admissions scandal. She and her husband were convicted of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their 2 daughters admitted to USC. New information in the case of a young missing mother from South LA. She has been found dead, and her family says her death is suspicious. Investigators found the body of 23-year-old Mikeyana Johnson inside of a parked Mercedes just blocks from her home. We're told someone recognized that Mercedes from a flyer about her disappearance and notified the family.
All of a sudden, her car is where it hasn't been because we've been on this block multiple times. Her car was not here, but all of a sudden it's here.
Imagine having to tell a 5-year-old that they mama not coming home. Ain't nobody thinking about that, though.
The coroner will determine how Johnson died. Anyone with any information on her disappearance is urged to contact the LAPD South Bureau. Millions of people along the Gulf Coast are assessing the damage from Hurricane Sally. More than 250,000 people in Florida lost power after Sally slammed the coast as a Category 2 hurricane. The storm toppled trees onto homes, ripped apart a bridge. Nearly 30 inches of rain came down over Pensacola. Officials are already predicting billions of dollars in damage. Now back to our weather. A live look at Universal City, our home here. Let's check in again with meteorologist Shauna Mendiela with another look at your first alert forecast. Shauna.
Hey there, Michael. That smoke is starting to thin out in some spots, so that's signs that things are about to change here. Going to take some time till we get to the weekend, and we're finally going to see a lot of blue skies. But for now, we still have smoke over the air and a few high clouds. The desert's still warming up here today, upper 90s for you in Victorville and Edwards Air Force Base, where I do expect that smoke to get worse as we head to the afternoon. So that's something we've been dealing with. 100 for you in Barstow. Mountain temperatures today in the 70s, 90s, and triple digits for you in the Inland Empire, with Corona coming in at 97 degrees. Some high clouds for you. Areas of smoke near the beaches. Huntington Beach, you did see some of that sun here today. I got some photos from some of you showing me that blue sky. 90 degrees in Laguna Niguel, so hot there. Irvine, another warm day for you. And in the valleys, we are also dealing with some temperatures in the 90s with Ojai at 95. Ventura, a lot cooler. Wow, not that far away. You've got temperatures there at 76, and we've got temperatures in the 90s in downtown LA. Now, this is going to be the warmest day for the next 7. We are going to see temperatures start to come down. An improvement in your air quality. With that, we've got fall beginning in 5 days, so we are not too far away from where things start to change. And I'm telling you that this is good news that things are about to change here, because we need some air to push in or push out of that smoke. We've got that ridge of high pressure that kept that in place, starting to shift east as that area of low pressure starts to push it out of the way. So that's good news. With this stronger push of air, we're going to see those skies clear out. So by Saturday and Sunday, I think this weekend, you're going to have better air quality. You're also going to be looking at a lot more blue conditions, and temperatures are going to feel a lot nicer here as you take a look at that trend. For Burbank, we're coming down to the 80s and staying that way through Tuesday, which will bring us below average and comfortable for some spots. So in LA, that means some 70s coming your way, which hasn't been like that for a while. So we're going to enjoy some of this cooler weather while we have it. Now I'll step out of the way to show you those 90s here today. Hottest day of the week, you can say, and then we start that cool down Friday, Saturday down to the 80s, 70s on Monday and Tuesday, first day of fall for you. At the beaches, some 80s and 70s. So today will be the last day at about 80 degrees and the worst air quality for a while. Valley forecast 98 today, 97 tomorrow, slow decline to 90 degrees by Sunday. Then we begin the new season with upper 80s. Inland Empire still in the 90s till we get to about Tuesday, and then we bring things down. High desert also in the 90s. Good news is you'll see an 80-degree day, and that's going to be on the first day of fall. Low desert triple-digit heat there, that stays, but it'll be on the lower end. And for the mountains, 70s on the way. Dry 7-day forecast. Cross your fingers that changes. But I think the overall good news is our air quality is finally starting to get better, and we can finally breathe a sigh of relief here in the next few days. All right, we'll have another look at your forecast here on TV at 4 o'clock. We'll send it back to Michael in studio.
Take a deep breath, Shauna. All right, that's good. There you go. All right, we'll see you at 4 o'clock. Thanks. Here's a question for you. Ever wanted to own a T-Rex? Well, here's your chance. One of the largest skeletons is up for auction. The expected price tag, and remember, it might cost you a lot of bones. Coming up on the NBC4 News at 4 o'clock. See what I did there? Skeleton, bones, money. Stay connected always to the latest news with our NBC app. We're going to see you right back here and on television for the NBC4 News starting at 4 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.